people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right? You might have a guy named like Glenn that comes to your office every 6 months, and you have to lay out the red carpet for Glenn. Think about what the person above Glenn does. Jerry is the person above Glenn, right?
Okay.
His job is basically going to lunch, right?
Yeah, powerful meetings, shaking hands real hard.
We're gonna go up to the CEO now. The people that sit around a table and who knows what they're doing? Nobody knows what they talk about.
Playing cards.
What connection does that person have to what you do and what the customer gets? It just seems like you could really chop like 5 or 6 levels off of any job and the company would still run perfectly.
Think about your job. Now imagine your manager isn't there. How much smoother would your day run?
I mean, how many of you work a job where you don't even know who the fucking CEO is of the company? That means they're absolutely useless. They're parasites.
They're on the top, getting most of the money, sending their kids to private school, driving the fanciest cars, and they can't make a sandwich. Every new level of hierarchy is more money coming out of your paycheck. Unions are fucking great because it's not HR.
You need solidarity with the other workers. We need to use that and exercise that. You and your other workers are the most important people at that company. I mean, hell, the way I think about it, maybe you don't get a union at all and you just take the whole company away from the bosses, and that's called a co-op.
For the almighty dollar, everyone's a slave. Cause what's the point of doing shit if you ain't getting paid?
Before we commence expelling this ghost from this location, before we save Jake from the lock, I will light the ceremonial herb that will give us the sight, that will give us the power we need to set Jake free. My Twitter's not working out here. Let's see if you can get a ghost. Go ahead and try. I summon the ghost into ghostly ghostness. Come the fuck out if you're a real ghost. Now. Demand it. This is how we fucking hunt ghosts. And as we've pointed out, and as we've said, there are no ghosts. So this is where the ghosts live, from what we know. And he's not home. Let me see, let me try this. Jake, you may overtake my body. I accept you into my heart and soul. Please, if you are here, take control of me. Use me as a vessel. Gross. Nothing. Yeah, no ghosts. So I guess the lesson of Beaver Creek is there's no such thing as ghosts. There's no God, and the Bible is a lie. Off to Helltown to find out what the government's up to in the middle of fucking nowhere, Ohio. Hell yeah, bumping out here. Can I get some of this safety herb in my lungs, please? And thank you, are welcome here. Jake, you can't have any because they drug test. Yeah, if you go to work, man, you're gonna get drug tested. Jake, you son of a bitch! You get out here! Hey, Jake! Ain't coming. He ain't coming because he's afraid of me, Brian Quinby from Street Fight Radio. Brett, would you like a shot at Jake?
Yeah.
I just fell in a hole. That was Jake. That was all Jake. I think we found the ghost. Jake won't let you see your mention. He's like, don't look at your phone while you're at work, motherfucker.
Oh my God, have you heard the news? Kids are dying of kratom.
That's not true.
They're injecting it into their veins.
I don't think that's happening.
An ABC Action News exclusive. A mom says a popular herb killed her son.
The most recent death happened in early June. Kratom, also known as metrogenine, was one of 4 drugs blamed for his death.
This was like the devil drug.
It really is just a green powder that makes people feel better.
Yeah, it's a leaf. It grows from the ground, you smash it up, you make a tea out of it, you throw it down the back of your throat, you eat some capsules, and you feel better, your mind's clear. And most people that use kratom don't have access to healthcare or prescriptions or any of that regular medicine stuff. They get it from local stores or online.
Let's do an example here. You're a young person. You don't understand how all this works. So let me explain this to you. When you get hurt in your older age, let's say you're 34, you work on a roof, you fall off and you crush your fucking heel, right? It's all shattered. The doctor 10, 15 years ago was like, that's fucked up, that really hurts. You're gonna need some opioids to kill that pain. And then the DEA says, no, you can't have those anymore. These doctors have to tighten up their prescriptions. And now you don't have any, you can't afford them. What do? You can take kratom. It has the same effects, it's less addictive, and it's more gross. So that even brings down the use. You're not gonna use it as much. Kratom kills the pain in your body. It also cures social anxiety.
The government's solution to stuff like this is always prohibition, which means putting more people in jail.
How big is your appetite for the war on drugs? I'm sure it's small. It's shrinking every single day. Don't let them continue it. Don't let them outlaw more stuff.
Good point.
Thank you.
I mean, I tell you what, even the jobs that paid me nothing, like when I was first learning them, it was like, all right, I can do this. You just need somebody to get the plates and make them go from here to here. I can be the master of that. I was really into that, and I can do that. But after a while, it's like, you guys treat me like shit, and I get the plates from here to here every fucking time, and you talk down to me and shit. What's going on?
Jesus,
you're counting my lunches. Like, you're looking at what I'm eating. You're like figuring out when I'm going out to smoke. Like, all of a sudden, you're in my shit. But all you said you wanted from me was the plates to go from here to here, and I'm getting the plates from here to here.
God, that was the most accurate representation of how I feel when I get a job. At first, I'm helpless. I'm a little baby. I'm sucking off the tea to the manager to tell me what I need to do. You know, I don't want to, my wings aren't fully formed yet. And then once I learn what I'm doing, I'm like, y'all could treat me a lot better for this. I deserve a lot more for this.
Wow, this is some bullshit right here. Now that you kicked me out of the nest and I'm flying through the sky and trying to flap my wings here, I don't think you're giving me enough.
I don't like this
You
at
didn't
all.
set me up right.
Polite
It's
about
just
it.
not the polite way to have sex.
That's just
I-
really one way to have sex that's polite, and it's to say, ma'am, or sir, or non-binary person, would you like to enjoy some making love with me? And then if they answer yes, then you mount that person and you move back and forth politely, and then you kind of finish it up and you say, that was great, and then you never mention it again. That's the right way to have sex, okay?
And folks, and that's why we don't do any sort of sex advice or sex stuff on this show, because there's none to be given.
I am wise!
I want you to write the polite sex book, like the proper polite method.
I just said it. You probably hear people constantly talking about this horrible thing called capitalism.
I have.
Yeah, you've heard that?
Yes.
You're like, what? How does capitalism affect me? I will tell you, it runs your entire fucking life. You've probably heard of socialism or communism. Communism! And they try to control your entire life. Your whole day is taken away from you. What control do you have over your day now?
Most people have to be chained to a desk for 40 hours a week, and they're not allowed to leave.
When you wake up in the morning and you feel like shit and you have to wipe the sleep from your eyes and look around and be like, why does this have to happen this early in the morning? That's a capitalism.
And it controls everything, like your healthcare, your education. It all comes down to making money, but some things just don't make money. Honestly, ask yourself, how afraid are you of getting an injury and how that could possibly fuck up your life?
Yeah. You're being stopped from skateboarding, breakdancing, doing anything fun, because if you get injured, you're fucked forever. You can't go to work.
And so then you have all these people that say, well, we can make a kinder capitalism, a more conscious capitalism. It isn't gonna fucking happen. We need anarchy, we need socialism, we need communism, we need anything but more capitalism.
But wait, Brett. When you go to the grocery store, you have almost unlimited choice. You can buy 100 different types of cereals.
All made from the same stuff with different graphics on the outside.
All corn. It's basically just a bunch of boxes of corn.
That's capitalism.
It actually treats about 1% of the population like humans, and the rest of us like tools for those superhumans. You don't have any money, your bank account's low? I know where the money is. Jeff Bezos has it, the Waltons have it.
And they took it from us, right?
They took it from us.
We're just getting our money back.
Yeah, your work made that money. You deserve that money. That's your money. The 1% has never decided to do the right thing. That's why we have to take power and just spread it out among the 100% of people that exist. Can you imagine being that sensitive? Like you,
Well, that's
like
what
that
they're
is the
PC as hell.
ultimate.
Hey, you know what? This is the freest goddamn country, and it's so free that if you don't stand up, you aren't a free person. And goddamn it, boy, if you don't stand up right now, you ain't free. Because you have the freedom to do whatever you want. But I'm telling you, I have the freedom to make you feel bad for doing the freedom. Just get up and say you love it. Just get up right now, Copernic. God damn it. It's so free that you can't do it. You have to. It's free because there's only one way to be. That's why it's free. So be that. Damn you. They don't have anything to live. I mean, their kids hate them. They don't have, all their money got stolen by banksters and shit. Healthcare's running through the fucking roof.
How many times have you gone into work and then looked at your boss and said, what are they doing? You ever think about the levels at a job, Brett? Of course, the people on the very bottom. What do they do?
Usually clean.
Yeah, and then there is the people just above them. They're the ones that do the second hardest job at the place, right?
Deal with customers?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And then there's another level above that, and that's the manager that's in the place. Now let's think about what comes after that, right?
Hello, Street Fighters. Welcome to the call-in show. It's a monumental moment in time, and we are excited to be broadcasting and know that there is a chat room full of wonderful people ready to talk to us. This is the call-in show, Sunday night street fight, 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. We did start a little late, so we'll make sure you get the full 3 hours. We are looking for phone calls from people that protested during the police riots of the last 3 or 4 days. Nobody else call in. No poser shit. Just people. I don't want to hear any.
No.
I want to hear speculation of
no
what
boss
you've
stories.
I don't want to hear any speculations about what you've seen online. I want to know what you saw on the ground. No poser shit.
No more.
And if you have a reason, don't fucking tell it to me. If it makes sense to you, that works. I don't care. No poser shit to me.
No more metal documentaries for Brett Payne. He's cut off forever now. Too many. But yeah,
Hey,
I mean, we would like to
Exodus
hear.
had something going.
We would like to hear from people who have been out and what their experience has been, what it's been like, and we'll get some of our friends are going to call in a little later tonight. Some people that have been arrested, and it's going to be a show about protests. So if that bothers you, then maybe go kick rocks.
Yeah, get the fuck out. My name is Brett Payne. My co-host is Brian Quinby. We're Street Fight Radio, the #1 anarcho-comedy radio show on any station across the nation. And today we have in the studio our youth correspondent and regular old wage worker, someone that actually had to go back to work after COVID today, Rachel.
The one day we're not talking about work under COVID, we bring in somebody that had to go to work.
You know.
You're back at work, right?
Yep.
Rachel had her first protest.
Yeah.
That was your first?
This weekend.
First ever.
The big first one, I gotta tell you.
I've never had anyone to go with. I've never had radical friends. And yeah.
She went with
That's
my
awesome.
wife and kid.
Yeah.
Which is was also a shock. That they were today mad at me. They were like, I feel like we should have been there. And I'm like, I don't fucking control you.
I mean, it's going to be a sustained thing. We were dealing with some Facebook drama the first night it went down, and I literally shut my phone off. And by the time I found out what was going on Thursday, it was like 10:30 at night, and people were like, are you going to this? And it was, they sent me a protest info at like 8:30. And I was like, no, I'm not, actually.
Yeah, that was a bummer because, like, I had a thing scheduled that night that I could not move because it was interviewing Fallon from Kitty about their first album, Spit, which is like a big fucking
legendary
deal
album, yeah.
when you do a new metal podcast. Like a huge deal. You can't get much huger than somebody from one of the bands. So, and the person who sang the chorus on Brackish. I mean, get out, So I interviewed her and then had to finish up the POD cast. So I was like not able to get out. But Friday, I thought I missed the whole thing. I was like, oh, they did it during the day. But I had taken my walk. And I was like, I tell my wife and daughter, like, you ought to see downtown. Like, a lot of the places have... the windows are boarded up. They really bashed out a lot of windows last night. So I took them downtown. We drove downtown. We never drive downtown because you can just walk there. But we drove downtown. We were just going to take like a walk around the block. We heard a bunch of fucking noise. And we walked up the street and there was a protest happening. And my wife and kid were just like, we're staying. We're here. And I was like, all right. But cops got super violent Friday night. It was scary as hell. It scared the shit out of my daughter. And she cried. She couldn't fucking believe what those cops were doing on Friday night.
It's very intimidating. And they are, even for me, being around with her, she was like, I want to stay away from those guys. And I was like, I get it too, man, because if you just walk past and you could just get walloped. You never know.
They just decide, and they don't care how old you are or who you are at all.
In the face, they don't give a fuck. They don't. Yeah.
Oh, and that they're aiming for the face with those non-lethal weapons. That's a lie. I mean, they're trying to shoot people in the face. When we were out on Saturday, there was a tense moment where people started chucking water bottles at the cops, which I think is like a hilarious symbol of this country, because in America, the water is so fucked up that most broke people live off of those 48 cases of Nestle and cheaper water bottles from Walmart and Sam's Club and shit. Mm-hmm. And there were people literally pelting the cops with them.
I hadn't even thought of that, like irony.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also like these fucking guys show up in suits of fucking armor, and a half bottle of water. Listen, have you ever heard of a group called the Insane Clown Posse? See,
I've heard of them.
What they do. Today. I saw a lot, yeah. A lot of juggalos, a lot of heavy metal t-shirts, a lot of
I saw an obituary hat. I wanted to go give the guy a hug, but it was like a COVID thing. Otherwise, I would have been like, hell yeah, dude.
So many Slipknot shirts and stuff, and like...
Yeah,
smallest white girls just really going off.
Oh, I know. They have a weird rage. Just a real intensity.
Never taller than 5 foot. Super tiny.
But full.
Just all bones
full
and
of rage.
sticks and just like...
nails and...
Yeah. Hard edges on them.
And it's just like...
And it's, and the thing about it is the speculation about who's involved is that, like, everybody is involved. There are white anarchists that are starting problems. There are police that are starting problems, and there are a lot of broke people that are starting problems. It's everybody together is sharing the burden of, scaring the fuck out of the police.
Yeah.
And telling them, the Black Lives Matter, and that black people need to be free, and that we aren't going to accept it anymore. I mean, we've hit such an incredible moment in time where all of the right stuff came together. I mean, everybody's in masks. They tried to outlaw that shit a couple years ago. Everybody's in
I
masks.
know. They fucked up there. Now we all have to wear masks. We picked a time where it's like, oh, now everybody's wearing a mask.
And they had
the best time.
And it really is like they had too many plates in the air. The ruling class thought they stretched themselves so thin that COVID took the legs out from under them. And this was enough. 20% unemployment. People are going to be there tomorrow on Monday. Like, people are going to be hanging out all fucking day. Today, so I was talking to the person that I got sushi from today, and they also said that they were like, oh, I said we just came from downtown. They're like, oh, this is my first protest. I went on Thursday. I was like, how was it? They were like, it was really scary. I was like, they're not normally like that. And we had just came from downtown where today it was like Comfest. It was basically people partying, playing music, smoking, protesting, but every person, like everybody in the city, the Comfest has a way of bringing everybody out, and this has brought everybody out of the city. There's Broad and High is the big main intersection of Columbus, and that is just everybody came in from the east, west, north, and south. Marches just rolled in this afternoon, and for the most part are just asking to be heard. And finally, last thing, I have so much to say, it's like ridiculous, but I did find out that Friday night on Livingston Avenue, which is a little further out from the city, all the cops were downtown. And so there was nobody to stop the protest. And they took over the intersection. And it turned into just a party.
That's what they keep turning into.
Basically, because it was a working class neighborhood and everybody's related to those people that are stuck in traffic, they would take over the intersection for 10 minutes, do a chant, get riled up, disperse, a car would come through, someone would get out, jump on top of the car and start dancing and shit. Then they would go. There was no window breaking, there was no looting and rioting. People just need to be together right now. People want to demonstrate and be heard, and the cops have escalated it in every single spot that they could, because they are the ones in charge. We are a ragtag group of people that are fucking done with this world that they've set up, and we are descending on the Capitol building, and they have strategists behind the scenes planning what weapons and when to deploy them and how they're going to escalate and how this is all going to go down, and they aren't considering ever listening, working, or changing in any sort of way. And to be honest, like, we don't have to burn down the whole government. The city should just take away the cops' fucking contract. It's that simple. They aren't a part of the Constitution, and there's nothing that says that we have to have them. Yeah. They've just bullied their way into it, and we should just literally not hire them to do this anymore.
Abolish the cops. 100%.
Yeah.
Somebody said something like that was a little more like palatable, I think, to a lot of people, but was to tie their budget to reforms, basically, where it's like if they fuck up, they don't get this guaranteed money. Because that's the thing. Like a buddy of ours from Chicago, Mike, he's Mike Hugs on Twitter, posted that 40% of the Chicago budget goes to the police. And then somebody else explained that 53% of the Los Angeles budget goes to the police.
It's the same everywhere you go.
And they keep telling us they don't have money to do anything. And it's not true. They just don't have money to not beat the shit out of people.
Columbus couldn't do drive-by testing for COVID. Kroger's, the grocery store, had to fucking do it. Like, what? Because it's fucking horrible.
Right. It's one of those things that's like, if they took a half a second and just fucking let what's going to happen, right? Like, these police, they stood down today and nothing bad happened.
The National Guard was in charge.
Yeah, is that what happened?
The National Guard was in charge today. They were just watching from a distance. They were heavily present in the State House. When me and Erica did went around the building, they were hiding down in those alcoves. I think they were taking a break. And, what happened after we left about 2 hours before dusk is when the riot police showed up.
Yeah.
And started just macing everybody and said, get out of here. They did that. They do that warning. This is the Franklin County Sheriff. You've been notified to leave this area.
Yeah, and let me just say that, like, this has been pointed out a lot, but these are Democrat mayors of these cities and oftentimes Democratic governors. So don't tell us to vote.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't fucking work. Voting doesn't work. Hey, guess what? We supposedly had a community organizer president for 8 years. And how did the cops get this powerful over those 8 years? How did they keep bringing in money like this?
Yeah.
And how are they able to crack down? And how are they able to have all of these weapons that they have these weapons to use against us if we get too loud? That's what they have them for.
And Ferguson wasn't enough to even stop them in their path.
No, they just kept going. I'm sure that people got raised budgets because of Ferguson.
Sure.
I'm sure. They don't learn lessons from these things. These have to continue every single day before they're going to decide they either have to do something or they either have to make a real change or they're going to have to do something. And that something is scary of what I think that they could end up doing. But, designating Antifa a terrorist organization pretty much means they can go arrest anybody they want.
Sure.
Because there isn't an Antifa.
Well, that's what I was going to say is like, well, I'm not an Antifa. Like, I don't really need a label on it. Like, I don't give a fuck. You can judge me by my actions. I'm not Antifa anymore, right? And that's all it takes to not be it. Like, not go to jail.
Well, yeah, and me and Brett are comedians, so we're probably not being looked at. I feel as though, like, we're probably pretty safe because we're comedians, and what we do is, up to interpret. I've never felt in danger because of what I do.
Antifa is outnumbered. Like, I don't see, like, I see more people that live in Columbus than I do black blocs, in what I saw today, at least.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I am not, I personally, having been out for 3 days of this, have not seen these white anarchists that are supposedly causing trouble. I have not seen this. This hasn't been my experience. And
I think I rethought some of my actions on Saturday, and I think I probably looked like an agent provocateur of some sorts.
Me too.
You know what? You know what's cool is because this is happening in my own city. It's crazy. This is just a culmination of everything because it's all so well planned out. It's like when going down to the main site, you see there's a main site and then there's station wagons driving around with medical supplies, water and granola bars. There's emergency eye wash stations. Everybody has learned everything from Occupy, from Black Lives Matter, from all of the protest, from Women's March and everything that's led up to this has all created the perfect storm of knowledge in the organization for people to step in and know how to help folks that are showing up for the first time, getting tear gas for the first time, and then relieving that pain and being there to show. And I felt really weird because my character in the riot game has upgraded because I'm like bike cavalry now. I really love taking the bike down there. When you're in a protest, you can't get too close, so you become really huge. And then if the cops come at you, you can put your bike as a roadblock. And also you can, I was able to go ahead and do things. It was, and also bike guy is also a really good undercover outfit because you have a bike helmet on and you have a lock if you need to use it. And you have a sport bottle that you can use to flush pepper spray out of your eyes and shit.
I will say also that
bike cavalry, and I got like a dozen bikes. I'm trying to get a bike cavalry together.
I haven't said this. I think I've said this online and I've said this to my wife and kid and Rachel, but this to me is bigger than J20 was. This is bigger than a lot of those actions that happened after Trump was elected because it keeps happening. Yeah. And it's going to keep happening. And this is civil unrest.
The conditions are there for people to be like, well, I got to go back to work. It's people's work is not there anymore. Folks have moved back in with their parents. People have had to make some tough decisions, and also there is also it's incredible the way that this thing, can be financed through us. I mean, they can shut it down eventually. I know they've gone after, PayPal can go after your money. But like all of the supplies, everything needed can all be funded from people on the side, people that of means that can pay lawyer fees, that can pay bail, and can cover all of the stuff that's required to make this stuff happen. At this point, we just need to study up. You need to see what's going on in Hong Kong. They had inflatable inner tubes. Have you seen that?
I was studying up. That's why I wore like all Lycra, because they said Lycra arm coverings would keep the shit from burning your skin. But yeah.
But I saw they take what's it called? Inner tubes from a pool, and you wrap tape around it real hard so that center can shit can bounce off of it. And then you get a bunch of people of them together, and you have a whole bunch of extra momentum when you're pushing with a giant inflatable tube. You know, it adds like an extra oomph to it, and you cover a huge area. So I don't know. I've been reading stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've just seen like pictures of people with like umbrellas and shit, and then I saw people at the protest with umbrellas. That would have never occurred to me, and just a bunch of other things. The goggles, like I didn't think about that until I was there, and I was like, oh.
I did too. I have. That's the other thing. Riding bikes in the winter. It tears your eyes up, so I have ski goggles, and I meant to bring my ski goggles, and I forgot them on Mace Day and brought them to Peaceful Protest Day. So, like Eric, I got my wife geared up. I'm telling you, it's gonna be fucking freaky when you go down there. When you see what they're gonna do to people, and we show up, and it's like everybody's passing joints around,
playing the trumpet. I saw a lot of videos of guys playing the trumpet. So.
Yeah, there was like a hangout. There were like people were chilling on the lawn of the State House, Broad and High. Broad and High was taken over. That's the other weird thing about these police things is they decide that there's one square piece of pavement that is the most important piece of pavement in the city, and this belongs to them. And Broad and High is this intersection that they put 4 lines of cops on each one, and it's literally like no one can go in this square, and it's like
it's a symbolic corner in the city because it's the direct middle of the city. Like
it is
that. It's like I think that there's some symbolism. I mean, the first night that I was out, we were at the police headquarters, and they got real bad. So I think that's why people moved towards the State House, because they got fucking scary. You know, they lined up, and like they did this thing where they put their bikes to the side, and they just started running over people with their bikes and with horses. Like they held them in front of them and battered people with these bikes. And I just watched them run over all of these people. They like just indiscriminately running people over. I saw them mace a little girl. It was like the saddest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Just this young little girl with a little cute umbrella. Just the littlest kid, and they fucking just drenched her in mace.
Yeah, she was coated. Her whole fucking face, her whole top half of her body was covered.
Yeah, they maced my kid. I mean, my kid got pepper spray.
Oh, yeah.
And mace. Yeah, I mean, that's been a weird thing for me, because it's like, is this too dangerous? Am I doing something stupid? But I feel like it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think that, like, if your kid's old enough to get away and understand and how to get home, then I think you should show them what these police are doing.
It's true.
And she chose to be there. She's old enough.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. The thing about the tear gas is crazy, because you're standing there and you're like, yeah, fuck you. And then the wind picks up and it hits you and you're like, my eyes are burning out. You're like, they can't do this. Like, people all of a sudden are like, wait, they're not allowed to hurt us like this. Like, a lot of those innocent folks that went out there to peacefully protest, when they felt the burn of that for the first time, they were like, wait, this is what they've been doing the whole time?
I think that's why the crowd keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Was that mace or was it tear gas that hit us?
The tear gas hit us when you were there.
Yeah, we did hit tear gas.
They weren't doing mace. At that point, they had just decided to fire tear gas and flashbangs at people.
Yeah, we didn't have a big line going. So basically, someone would launch a water bottle and then they would throw a tear gas back. That was the back and forth on that one.
It was funny, though. I will say it was funny when it would become like a whole shower of water bottles.
It was, and I tell you what, we did witness this situation. There was a standoff where the horses were going to try to run down this line of people, and a bunch of folks rushed behind them, and they had to stop. And they gained, 500 feet on us, but there was this standoff. And people did start launching water bottles, and the crowd shut it down very quickly. The crowd was like, hey, if you want to throw water bottles, get on the front fucking line and show them your face. Let them, like this. They were like, be a man, get out of here. Yeah, be about it if you're out. And you know, I think that there was cops launching the water bottles to start something. That at that moment when that happened, it got really tense because about 60 water bottles went flying into the horses and the cops. They started pointing at people on who they thought it was, and we were standing in that same area. And that was the moment when, after that happened, there was a bunch of people got afraid because they thought they were going to start fucking people up. And everyone started running. And this guy has this drum, and he just goes in the boom, 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 boom. It just starts playing this rhythm, and everybody chills out. And like those instruments really do change the energy, because everybody was terrified. I mean, there was a moment of like someone would throw a water bottle and everybody was like, "Oh shit!" and they would just start, and then it would just go off. So this water bottle goes flying. This guy plays the drums to chill everybody out, and they fired a fucking concussion grenade right at him. It exploded in the tree right above him where we were standing.
Was that like 5 feet from us?
I turned around and saw the debris right behind us, and then Gwen was like, "I think I'm done with this," and I was like, "Yeah, now's the time when you want to decide like how injured you want to be, you know, because they're really going for it."
The other thing I want to say about
and there's no safe place. Like they have long range weapons.
Yeah,
somebody was like, "Oh, they won't launch at us. We're by the state house." I was like,
no, they will. They'll launch at any place.
Give them an inch.
They would fucking light the state house on fire if they thought it would get us to leave. Right. You know? Another thing about it being at home is like, I remember when we were in DC after the inauguration and they were throwing the flashbangs. It seemed so terrifying and so overwhelming to be in this major city and not really know how to handle it. But here you can throw a flashbang. I know where I'm at and I know where to go and I know how to get around.
Yeah.
I mean, I've walked this entire city for fucking 5 years now, all day. I know where fucking everything is downtown. Also, I want to be clear. Like, I can get away easier than a lot of people because the police could think that I'm just some guy that's downtown walking around. I can walk right out of the crowd, but
because my maneuver, what I've been doing actually is I wear a full covering that covers all my tattoos. This is the first time in my life I regret having my tattoos.
Yeah, you would be in my same place where the police would probably just consider you maybe even an ally or somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I have enough of a look. I mean, so I wear a full cover up, and riding bikes, like not having a car in Columbus and riding my bikes. There was a pivotal moment where I was able to duck into this alley where, you know, I knew where it came out, and I parked behind this building and basically took my clothes off, and I wore like a biker. I wore like just a regular old, like one of those fucking quick wick, like Clima Cool shirts or whatever it is, and shorts. And I looked just like a fucking biking asshole, you know, just a regular old IPA dad just riding his bike around. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, that's like the privilege that we have, that we look.
It is, but I used it. I mean, I have it for a reason. I've also, at this point, well, I can't say it. Well, but
don't say anything that's going to get us classified as Antifa and thrown in jail.
Yeah, don't get classified as terrorists or anything.
No, I don't. I just want to say that now, also with the tattoo thing, the other one, no one has seen me without a beard in probably 15 years. So I have a get out of jail free card. I can be a completely new person if I shave off the whole beard. If I go clean shaven, no one will know who the fuck I am.
Get out of here.
There's no facial recognition data with me with like my bare chin.
Yeah, I do. I'm not like doing much of anything down there. I'll like chant with people. And I'll like offer condolences to somebody who's been pepper sprayed. Like I don't want to be like a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're not a striker.
I just want to be a body that's there, and the police can hit me if it means they're not going to hit some little kid. And that's the way I think about it. But again, I said this was a big joke we did in 2016 after the J20 protest. It's like the police half the time would be willing to hand me a can of mace if I asked them.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, take over.
Yeah,
I'm getting tired.
Yeah. I can walk up and ask them because of the way I look. I mean, I need to quit wearing the shirts.
Yeah, you need to get more 9-line apparel.
Yeah, I need a different shirt because I do have the shirts on, the same shirts as a lot of the protesters.
That's why I feel like I need to harden up my looks so I don't attract people like that, because I get people that think I'm going to sympathize with their weird ass views.
True.
Because I'm so basic, and
yeah,
I just like to. I don't know.
I mean,
don't want to be picked out in a crowd when I'm going
that's
to a
the same.
protest.
Being basic is really the I mean, I've always been that way. I've always just been like,
I just don't put the
I don't
effort
have any
in.
tattoos. I don't have any earrings. I don't have anything. I'm just a
have this
white
pierced.
dude that wears fucking Lululemon shorts and t-shirts and a hat. And like, there's 1,000 other ones of me. And in my city, every dude sounds like me.
Yeah.
Like, I am not a flashy dude at all.
That was actually when we started stand up. One of my like bits that I was trying to develop was I try to dress as square as possible, like, because that way you can disappear into a crowd. You know, like
Generally, yeah. I'm like plain shirt, plain hoodie.
And you know, something
just
that
buy clothes from the Gap, and you look like every other person in Ohio.
Yeah.
Something that I am concerned about, and partly because, you know, they're talking about holding the RNC, and you know, we need to get me and Brett will be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna get an N95 for that one.
Oh, what's an N95?
The one, like the best mask for COVID particulates.
Yeah. I also have I was like carrying weed with me all day yesterday.
No, that's the bad idea.
I'm allowed.
Oh,
they can't do shit
true.
about my weed. They would have to put my weed in. If they arrested me, they'd have to hold my weed for me.
Yeah.
Before and to give it to me on the way out the door. Just saying, that's a little thing I have going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I left on Saturday, I was gonna bring some acid with me, and then I was like, well, I don't want to have just acid in my pocket, so I just took it all before I left.
Fuck.
I had like Albert Hoffman bicycle ride on the way over, and then got Liddy. It was sweet. I felt very alert.
I'm glad you came out. I mean, I had planned to be out there no matter what, but like, it was even scary for the first few minutes because of COVID. Like, for the first few minutes, I was like, I gotta fucking like adjust my expectations to you're going to catch the coronavirus now, because I figure I am.
Yeah.
But I also know that Katie is getting tested like next week, so we will have a lot more information next week. You know what I mean?
What else is amazing is when I got down to that protest and I was able to see like a bunch of people that go to wrestling with us. And it was just amazing to realize that I know what their eyes look. It's something about it was just incredible that I could recognize them by their fucking eyes. It was so cool. Yeah. And like, also, once again, I was tripping, and I as soon as I get off my bike, this guy stops and he was like, "Hey man, thanks for coming out." I was like, "Yeah, I appreciate it." He's like, "You know, this is all love." I'm like, "Yeah, I understand that, man." He's like, but you know what? We can do this all month long. We can do this all summer long. I was like, I agree, man. It's time to do it.
I've heard that a lot too. It's like, we can do this. They fucking fired us from all of our jobs.
Yeah.
We
already know how to make rice and beans and all the struggle shit.
Also, and I'm going to talk about this probably Wednesday a lot more, is like, we are in a moment where the government has proven that they can't fucking do anything. They just proved that they can't do anything, and they can't protect us. They can only beat us up. And I think that's part of the fuel for this.
Yeah.
It's like this me and Brett, when we first started, we're probably still pretty naive, but it was always like, if people just stop paying attention to the government, it'll be delegitimized, you know? And now it's like the government is being delegitimized.
Yes, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I've never seen...
I think the United States was a fad.
Yeah.
Didn't
Well,
have- they couldn't
2016.
last.
I've been saying for like a year and a half, I was like, I just have this feeling that we're going to live in times of civil unrest. And like, I've always been saying it.
I think I go back and forth. I think that everybody feels like they're in the end times and like this is the most epic time in history. And then you go look at history from a bird's eye view and it's like...
It's always been the end of times. Right?
Yeah, the
but now it's
presidency
different. Yes.
is by there's a game show host as the president.
I know.
And like
A
we
white
live in
supremacist one.
a white supremacist game show
segregationists.
host.
Right now
is the president. So I think people are already on edge about that, and I think that like the first night this is going on, he's talking about shooting people, and like that just brought more people out. They should be They need to start like. They need to form some kind of coherent proposal to people to fucking let them know that they are working on this and that something is going to happen or people are going to keep doing this. There is resolve out there.
Yep.
And the city in Columbus, I've never felt this way in this city. Like there's so much love and so much admiration for each other and like it's so united. Like the people that are posting about looters and rioters and shit like that, they're in the fucking suburbs.
Yeah.
They don't fucking know anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're playing cornhole while they post that.
They get pissy when their neighbor's kids cry. They don't
Yeah.
care about their neighbor. They don't care about others.
And I've always said, like, when you go to the city, it's love. People who live together love each other. And they choose to live in population centers because they care about each other and because they love people. And, like, you're not going to be able to separate us anymore.
Yeah.
We all know that our neighbors are on our side. There are people driving by honking their horns.
Everywhere.
People are piling out of their houses as the march walks by and holding their fists up. And there's signs everywhere. And even the businesses that boarded up their windows as a precaution are writing messages on their windows saying, "We are with you." Now, who knows if they're doing that for what reason? But like I think that like a place like Soul Classics, I think they are with us, and they put a really nice message on the front of their
theirs was
building.
amazing. Yeah, Soul's Classics sold me a fucking pair of shoes.
You bought shoes?
No, I'm gonna get them whenever they rebuild. But yeah, basically they got looted and they put up a big cardboard. They put up a big piece of particle board, and on it said, "We have ignored, mistreated, and forgotten all of the youth in our city. We need to spend less time shutting our doors tighter and spend more time opening our hearts wider."
Yeah. Did they really get looted? Because I saw a guy with one of their bags yesterday.
I don't think they
got looted. I think they just
that was a
precaution.
speculation thing.
Because there was a guy actually marching next to me yesterday holding a Soul Classics bag that just got swept up because he was like, "I'm shopping," and he's just like, "Hey!" I saw people walk off fucking patios.
We did it today when we went. So I followed from OSU all the way downtown, and we passed a patio, and we started saying, "Out of the streets, into the bars, out of the streets, into the bars." And some guy was like, "Ugh." He was just all wasted and shit, and he just put his arms out like "fuck it" and started walking with us, and everybody was like, "Woo!"
That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean,
we were like, "Join us." There was people that kept doing like fists and all this, and we were like, "Come on, this is happening."
Well,
you're standing in front of a
chanted-
GameStop right now.
When we chanted through the short north yesterday, one of the chants was "Come outside, come outside." People are lazy generally, and you can't drink White Claws while you're protesting. Although you can probably get away with it. But that's what it is. They don't want to get an open container violation, probably, because that's what people do is they get drunk on the weekends.
So I did have a very grumpy old man moment on Saturday after like going through all of that. Basically what happened on Saturday is I saw this like skate rat kid stand in the middle of the street, and these cops drove a fucking battering ram at him. And he just said out loud, he was like, "Well, I guess you're gonna have to fucking hit me then." And they like slammed on the brakes, and they were so close. They were inches away from him. And then I rode my bike home, And I'm riding through Clintonville, and there's these two fucking kids that have like fresh haircuts and pastel-colored North Face shirts, and they're carrying their skateboards like it's just an accessory, you know. Like,
vines,
I was so mad. I was just in my head. I was like, "You want to be a fucking skater? Go. The Trouble's downtown. Go skate downtown. Go do a kickflip off this fucking cop cars." I was so mad. So what I did is I saw him cross the street, and I got so frustrated. I went to, and I couldn't be mean to him. So all I said was, "Are you boys just going to carry those skateboards?" And then I drove away. And then I started just laughing hysterically at how corny I was.
Like literally like the modern day old man.
Yeah, I really went to a bad
posers.
Yes. I didn't call them posers, but I wish. That's what made me remind me of the word as well.
So we got to get
to the calls.
People on the phone.
Yes.
Please be cool tonight. And their calls are piling in, and we got other people calling in, so we're going to have to be concise tonight.
Yeah.
You hear me, Kush Waffles? You got to be concise.
Kush Waffles, don't call in if you weren't there.
Yeah, Kush, we'll be back next week, probably. All right, you ready?
Yep, let's do it. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, is this me?
This
is
is
me?
you.
Hey, this is Nick. I'm up in Northwest Ohio. How you guys doing tonight?
How's it going up there? Youngstown? Am I wrong?
No, Toledo area. Toledo.
What's going on in Toledo?
Yeah. Well, I was on the ground yesterday. I joined up with just like a peaceful, march that turned into the larger rally. And so my homie Zach and I, we'd gone up there together. We started walking away from the downtown area. And, because we were at the back of the crowds when all the speakers were done, we're like, all right, let's, kind of hike. Let's try to get back to the car, And so not 2 minutes after we started leaving, shit started popping off, right?
Uh-huh.
So we're driving back, we get to this one intersection and, we start to see traffic backing up. And we're like, oh, fuck, this must, what the fuck's going on? And we see this fucking, APC, and there's a cop up out of the window. He's got that fucking, grenade launcher. He's just, popping off at people.
The knee knocker thing?
We're like, all right.
The big bullet things?
Yep. Yeah, you guys actually like the post of mine last night of, one of those.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah. So anyway, we're like, all right, fuck this. We gotta get out. It's our duty as white allies. We gotta fucking document this. We gotta bring visibility. So we park. We get out and just start following all this shit down, just this main road here.
Uh-huh.
And so have you ever heard the fucking the phrase battle fatigue or 1,000-yard stare?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's what's going on right now, because I have so many clear flashes of memories, but I don't remember huge parts of yesterday. I remember at one point the coolest man in the world just walking out in front of the APC with a boombox and it's blasting "fuck the police" and he's glaring at them with his chin down. I remember crossing paths with an acquaintance of mine and this fucking tear gas canister going off right at our feet. I remember this badass moment where we had all the fucking riot cops boxed in, and I remember these two super fucking traumatic to watch arrests where 8 cops swarmed on one individual guy. And then the worst bit was we were down by this one restaurant, right? There's this super petite girl sitting on the corner, and one of the fucking wooden bullets, one of those dudes at point blank range just shoots her in the femur and broke her leg.
Oh shit.
Yeah, fuck.
God damn.
Fuck, dude.
Was she even part of it, or was she just minding her own?
She was part of it, yeah.
Okay.
And I heard her at one point yell about how somebody had pointed her out to be shot at.
Got it. Wow. Yeah, they do a lot of that.
But yeah. But as soon as she was down, she had 8 people with medic patches just boom, swarm around her and get her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is badass. But it's just fucking God damn, dude.
There's a need for that many medics, but it's amazing that these people are able to dedicate their skills and their resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just respond so quickly too,
Mm-hmm.
So like that was yesterday, and then like here in my hometown, like we had another protest going on. So I tagged up with my MMA coach, and he, others from the gym, myself. We were just like passing out water, passing out pizza, cookies. We had first aid ready to go. Fortunately, there wasn't anything that like popped off, but you know, at least we were there if it needed.
Yeah, that's great.
So
Thank
yeah,
you. Where was this?
Yeah, that's been. Wait, what?
Oh, this was Northwest Ohio, Toledo
Northwest
area?
Ohio, Toledo area. Yeah.
How big? How many people do you think were out there?
Shit. Let's see. Today, because I'm in like a small town, probably about 1,000 people. Yesterday, if I really had to estimate, probably close to 5,000, maybe.
Oh wow. Ours seemed bigger today, to be honest.
I was talking to our buddy Greg, and we were we had an Alec, and they had heard an estimate of 800 earlier, but that was before all of the different groups of people converged on the steakhouse today. So the number is getting bigger every single day.
Yeah,
is what I can just from looking at it, I can tell.
Yeah, it's hard to know who. I mean, you don't want to do a roll call, but and you can't trust their numbers because like wrestling lies about having more people in the seats. They're gonna lie about having less people out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I did remember one other flash. Apparently, the credit union got broken into yesterday.
Badass.
Because like the just like.
Yeah.
SWAT units took us like past the police credit union.
Yeah.
The window was busted out, and someone had spray painted ACAB over it.
I mean, they don't keep any money out in those places, and if they do, good for the people that got in there. You know, I saw them replacing an ATM today as I was walking down the street, and I was like, "Damn, somebody got either lucky or didn't get anything." I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thanks for calling in, buddy. We got a bunch of calls.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Keep it going, guys. You guys are giving me life.
Peace.
What is happening right now is the reason I'm not as present is I'm helping Jake Flores get a Google Voice set up so he can call us.
Yeah, we were gonna have Jake Flores call in as our special guest, but the police destroyed his phone, threw away his phone, confiscated. I don't know what's going on with it. They got his phone. He's on an iPad. You ever live that life?
I'm literally about to send mine out for a little bit of cash, actually, and it's like an iPad 4, so it's like giant. And
No. I mean, live your life iPad as a phone. Like, I used to carry around like a messenger bag with my iPad in it because that was my motherfucking phone.
Was it hooked up to mobile, or did it just work? Okay, because I was going to say, I've had a time where I didn't have a plan and I would just use this basically as like an iPad that, you know.
I've done that too.
But
I gotta go take my iPad to that machine and sell it. You can sell those motherfuckers, so it'd give you like $40 for it.
Apple will pay you, they'll send you like a kit and you can send it back and they'll give you like a gift card or some shit.
Fuck that. I don't want their gift cards.
That's fair. I'm gonna get some AirPods, goddammit. I'm gonna get some AirPods and I'm not gonna pay full price.
Can't use them for the radio, so, you know, it's like pointless. Yeah, go ahead.
Ready?
The next call, yeah.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Greetings, motherfuckers. It's a long day. It's the boy Weed. So, we're in Lansing, Michigan after the whole fucking protest down here. So,
how was it?
Actually here. Okay, I want to preface this by saying, allegedly.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Yep.
Oh, I have the shittiest luck. Now, I did not go down there originally for rioting. Now, I was down in downtown Lansing for an actually completely legitimate and good cause. My aunt, who is taking care of her young granddaughter, her son is living with her. I volunteered out of the goodness of my heart to fix their computer. It was right up to downtown Lansing. I fixed it a few days ago, got it up and running. Was going to bring it back Sunday. Then this shit kicked off. And I figured, hey, why don't I see if I can, at the very least, possibly steal some stuff from Clem Collectibles. They call it Summit Comics now, but fuck it, I'm calling it by its original name before they got corporatized. Fuck those guys. Mm-hmm. So, I'm down there. Now, I'm not going to give away too many details to avoid incriminating myself, but I'm going to give a few notes I took after, because if you're wondering why I'm still in a good mood now, when I got to my aunt's house and got the computers up and running, me and my cousin talked about life, all this shit, and smoked a ton of weed on my auntie's porch. So I'm good. So
that's great.
So here's what I.
What
so
was
here's
the? What was it? Just pepper spray? Was it all pepper spray and grenades and all that shit?
Oh, this is where it gets fucking hilarious. They got pissed off because somebody threw a fucking trash can at the Chase Bank downtown. I'm like, bitch, there's a fucking MSU Federal Credit Union across the street and a Comerica down there. One of them was gonna get fucked up, so stop your bitching. At least,
Gotta
you
go
know
for
what
the Chase
I'm
one,
saying.
'cause Chase sucks.
Yeah.
You gotta go for the big guys.
It's quite hilarious.
Oh no.
Do you know? I don't know if you
Actually, you know the ironic part? One of the ironic part? The Chase in downtown East Lansing is actually physically the smallest building out of all of them. The biggest one is a big, ugly Comerica building that looks like some weird brutalist architecture. It looks like it should have like the face of like Mussolini plastered on the front of that bitch. It's so ugly, and it's connected, and it's actually built into the building that is at City Hall and the Lansing Police Department building. It's fucking ugly. But I wanted to say a few things. Number one, you have not lived till you watched a cop catch the Dan Flutie from a guy trying to avoid his like tear gas canister that he shot at him. Like, it's the funniest shit ever. Like, they were getting hip tossed a few times. It was like,
there was
like,
this pretty windy yesterday, and I heard about a few cops getting some blowback. So yeah, it's pretty damn funny.
I have not felt this. I have not felt this alive since that journalist threw his shoes at George W. Bush.
That was a golden that's for damn sure.
This is beautiful. It is like it's like hearing a cover of Long Tall Sally covered by Death Grips. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Of
course, we've got to remember why we're there.
Yeah, you know, fuck the police, fuck 12, I didn't vote for Whitmer either, yada, 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 but, good thing is, we proved to these motherfuckers that we are not to be best with, and, I want to add a second point to the original 2 points. Who actually thought that just because LTD is in the middle of downtown Lansing, this was actually going to work out well for them? We know every exit they have on there. Like, there's literally one garage that you go out of. So pretty much everywhere around the building, if you've lived there your whole life, you know where everything they could send everything out of. So pretty much everywhere else is out in the open. So essentially, I digress. Point is, it wasn't as strategically sound as they thought. Yeah. Third point, and I want to say this is a final point to everybody out there. Please stop bitching about the restaurant that got burnt out there. They're all a bunch of fucking boomer-ass restaurants for the professional managerial class of Lansing anyway. So it's not like we lost anything, especially Chili's downtown. Fuck that cop bar. Fuck that place. I'm glad that place is probably a smoldering pile of, I don't know, pick an adjective here.
Everybody's always like, oh, but the small businesses. I was like, there's a lot of shitty small businesses that would be.
No. You want to know how much I call bullshit on why they say that? There's barely any small business. There's like a fucking Firehouse Sub down there. I'm not bullshitting. There's a fucking Firehouse Sub at the building, and everyone's bitching about that. They don't even have good brisket. Fuck those guys. Like, good riddance. I hope they actually put in some good restaurants. I'll even take Conrad's Grill in downtown Lansing, even though arguably everyone in Lansing will agree with me. They're pretty much the barstool sports of the Lansing food scene, but I digress again. But, point is, you showed them what's for, that's good. And I'd like to leave you all with a very simple joke today to get everyone else on the call line.
Listen it up.
What did the first cop in Minneapolis say when he saw the Target on fire?
What did he say?
Aw, damn, I was supposed to go there after work. They had a sale on white sheep. Anyway, peace
one
out.
For the road. That's one.
Peace out, you Dimebag Daryl.
Go ahead.
Yeah, peace out, you Dimebag Daryl looking motherfuckers.
Yep. Every day, cemetery gates, bro. We go right to them. Peace out, Kush Waffles. That was probably your best call ever. One of my favorites. Thanks for fighting the good fight and finding reasons to be out there that involve computer repair. You gotta have some sort of like, no, I'm not protesting. I'm on a bike ride.
I'm helping my grandma. You said was it your aunt? I'm helping my aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm late for work, actually. You're holding me up. I really want to get back to work. I'm a strong patriot. All right. You ready for this next one? Brian's working out the Jake Flores situation. I think that we probably have 15 minutes of songs we could play, but you want to see what this next person has to say?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who the fuck are we talking to tonight?
Hey, what's up, am I on?
Yeah, it's you.
Hell yeah, what's up? Dallas Keller from up in Cleveland.
Oh, hey, buddy. How's it going?
It's fucking going. I was out there yesterday at fucking the Justice Center.
What was the situation like? Was it just peaceful protesting and then dealing with all the weaponry deployed on you?
Oh, well, fucking, there's a whole story there. So, yeah, it was people protesting, about 1 o'clock to fucking... I'd say about 3:30, we fucking, marched from the Free Stamp all the way over to Public Square Park and then started moving back. At that point in time, a bunch of fucking cops had, piled up by the Ontario entrance to the Justice Center, which is, police station / courthouse / fucking jail. And, it was weird. So either way, we were fucking, people were, gathering up around, line of cops. It was maybe 6, 10 cops in front of this fucking doorway, and I saw the weirdest fucking shit in the world, and I just want to fucking kick myself in the face for it. But because everyone online was yeah, make sure you're not filming protesters doing this, doing that, and I'm Mr. fucking on my goddamn phone, so I just ignored my phone. I had the shit in airplane mode, doing the whole deal.
Smarter than me.
But what fucking happened was we saw fucking 2 dudes. There was a dressed like protesters. There's a short black dude and a taller skinny white guy, both masked up. They went behind this column with a book bag and dropped it off to another fucking cop. And
weird. Had
a brief conversation and then fucking started walking away. And I was those are fucking undercovers. And I yelled after him those are undercover, and I fucking want to kick my, just should have taken some goddamn fucking photos. But either way, probably about 5-10 minutes after that, the fucking first, cop car blew up.
Wow.
So, I don't know if there's, some signal type, I don't know, we're, fucking all conspiracy theory fucking bill and shit, but
yeah,
it's just, the way...
We were getting information as we marched. People were saying, "Hey, cops are wearing gray wristbands today," so they were telling people, to look out for that type of stuff.
They have
there was
things where they're just I'm putting on a gray wristband. That's how you'll know I'm one of your friends, cops.
You don't know about Color of the Day?
No idea.
New York City developed this system called the Color of the Day, where you would have to wear a prominent item of a clothing for the color of the day because the New York City police killed an undercover black officer because they didn't know he was a cop.
Oh.
And so they
just can't resist killing a black guy. They just cannot just not do it, And
they don't respect. Yeah. It's awful.
Yeah, fucking, so, and then shit escalated from there. Also, there's reports that basically 2 water bottles got thrown, and that's when the fucking tear fucking gas, started flying. And I have to say, I don't know if it's because I just smoke indoors all the time or what, but, I was, probably, 40 to 70 miles away from, the tear gas at any given moment, and there were people right next to me that were the same distance that were having a way worse time with it. And
we'll get closer. That means you need to be closer. If you got a higher tolerance, I had somebody tell me they're I cook with habanero oil. Or I'm well, you get to the very front then. Go take a blast.
My ass cannot handle it.
Go get on hot ones. The hot ones is right there. Yeah. That's the challenge.
I thought I was the biggest baby of all time.
Dude, I was doing
gas. You heard it.
I was working out. I was doing my fire up beast mode sounds and was just
you guys soak your well, we figured out that you can fucking soak your mask bandana or whatever, and it significantly fucking lowers the shit that comes in. So if you wet your bandana or bath, fucking it makes it a whole fucking lot better like when it starts coming at you. I mean, your eyes are still gonna like fucking feel it.
It was bad,
But-
yeah.
Yeah, so fucking we were basically like just posted up on a corner, just like looking out, fucking yelling, fucking for cop movements and shit like that, and then just wetting down people's masks. But it was fucking just wild as shit. And then the fucking most annoying goddamn thing was we fucking got home, I don't know, probably around like 7:30 or something, and then like fucking the goddamn city called in at 8 p.m. curfew, and I got an alert on my phone, like an Amber Alert type thing, about this 8 p.m. curfew at motherfucking 8:55 p.m.
God damn.
Wow. Yeah, they really want you to fuck up so they can, yeah.
Well, that's their excuse. I mean, yeah, the curfew is that is their legal reason to start hurting people. That's when they can say, well, this person was out past curfew, so we had to fucking beat the shit out of them.
And then they're fucking extending it, and they've also like shut down fucking like so. There's like I guess right now,
They
even
aren't gonna
right
shut
now,
down
people
shit. We
trapped
shut
at the
shit
fu-
down.
Yeah, fucking sucks.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, go ahead.
That's
Go ahead.
the. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's the my Cleveland report, give or take. Fucking.
Love it.
Undercovers.
Shit was wild.
Doing shit.
But I'll let you guys get back to it. Fucking prosperity, and you have a great night.
Have a great night, buddy.
Mr. Worldwide of AIW Wrestling. Check him
that was
out.
Alex?
Yeah.
I missed his name. I was working on tech stuff. Okay, don't take a call. You ready?
Ready.
All right. This is my success in action right here.
Is it?
This is my finest success. Yeah, you're going to hear it or whatever. But
You did tech support.
Jake!
During the show.
Hey man, how are you?
I'm great. Can we turn him up?
Can anybody in the chat? Yeah. Can you hear Jake?
I hear him.
I barely hear him.
Yeah, he's very low.
Okay, I can try and throw.
Jake is
on,
very quiet.
like a headset. Hold on.
Yeah, try a headset real quick. Look, this is my
Your moment.
This was my moment, Jake. This was my big moment where I figured something out on my own. And now, well, with Jason's help, but I was really working hard.
Jake, what's up? Can you give us some a little bit of? What do you have for breakfast, Jake?
Okay.
Pepper
hold
spray.
on.
Jake!
Can you hear me better now?
We can hear you. This is great.
All right, holy shit. Listen, no one has ever called in to the call-in show without using a phone. This has never been attempted.
That's
We're
true.
making history.
Yeah. It was hard to figure out, but we figured it out. So how you feeling today, man?
I'm all banged up and shit, but I'm not like really permanently injured other than I think my wrist got a little bit more fucked up than it usually is.
Yep. So for those of you that don't know, Jake Flores, host of the Pod Damn America podcast, also toured with us. Came out for the variety show in Columbus, and then we did Harrisburg with you as well. You're supposed to come to Florida before COVID. But maybe we'll perform at like protests. Maybe we'll just travel from city to city and just do our little act on the State House lawn of every State House lawn that's been taken over.
Embarrassing, though. That would be so embarrassing. You imagine doing comedy at these.
I think there should be music stages set up. I think there should be education centers. I think we have to rethink what these buildings are. I mean, we can't just keep doing the same thing that the buildings have been used for.
True.
They're public grounds now.
Yeah. I know a comic who did that actually in jail during the Black Lives Matter stuff way back in 2015, 2016. But he is black, and I think that added an element of it was way cooler than what we are discussing, attempting here.
Yeah. Doing our stupid podcast. So, when did you start going out? Did you go out Friday, Jake?
Yeah, I went out Friday a little bit, and I was at Barclays where shit kind of popped off, but I kind of missed the action. I missed that van being set on fire, which is troubling. It feels like I missed seeing a van get set on fire. I don't know. It bugged me a little bit. But
yeah, we got to see that limo on fire at J20, and it was like the tightest shit ever.
I know.
Yeah, listen, a lot of people are going to guilt white agitator anarchists or whatever about being here. Don't, as long as you're here, some of the shit is cool. There's no way of separating that from the whole reality of what's happening. A fucking limo set on fire, soak it in for a minute. Coolest fucking thing you're all year.
Yeah, none of us are outside agitators. This is all America. We're all together in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see a lot of, like, white anarchist type people causing trouble? Because I really didn't see that in Columbus.
No, and that's the fucking thing, man. I was out in the streets last night in Brooklyn when I got arrested, and, like, honestly, I was looking around. I was in Brooklyn, where far away from the Williamsburgs and the Bushwicks, where everything's really gentrified and white. The whole time, I was like, where the fuck are all the white people? And I think it's possible that these people got discouraged because of that shit. It's also possible it's just a geographic thing, but like, we need white people. You're a fucking wall, So
if white, we got to beat up our dads. Like, white people have to beat up our dads. This is what this is about for us. Like, we were trained to be racist as kids, and we have to kill our family members.
It's our job's to beat up our dads.
You have to repent for their sins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you went out Saturday during the day. Were you out all day yesterday?
I was out for a while. Full story and everything will be on, podcast. But like, just to give you like a little recap, it was really funny. I went to a white part of Brooklyn, honestly, to Grand Army Plaza first, and like it was way less intense, and there was like a lib lady out there just yelling like, everyone needs to donate to nonprofits. Weird lib shit.
Can I tell you, Jake? I saw a guy that was walking down the line of cops as they were macing people, and he was just going, "You're on the wrong side of history." And he said it to every single one of them down the line. And I was like, you know what? Good point. He's right. You know what I mean?
Can't refute that one.
Yeah, I mean, let them do the Harry Potter and stuff out there. Whatever it takes, get them out in the field and in the front line. I'm into it.
Right.
Like you said, you just have to hear the crack of that like concussion grenade, or you have to feel the sting, and it just immediately, like when we were in J20, it honestly, I mean, at this point, it was like a 6-hour tantrum, and a lot of people did get into big serious trouble for it. But it was just such a localized thing, and to know that like when you're out there at the State House and then you get on your phone and everybody else is out there on the State House, it's like builds this momentum. But one of our things I remember from J20 was just this lady that was standing near a tree, and this concussion grenade goes off right by her head, and she just goes like white as a sheet and starts freaking out, falls over, and these like crust punk medics just start coming up, and this lady looks like any other fucking bank manager you've seen, and I have to feel like in that moment she understood like the problems of the police a lot more than she did before.
Yeah, some of these libs are turning, man. Something real is happening. Some of them are not.
I mean, I drove through. Like I rode my bike all the way down Hyde Street. There are communities in the city that are very much protected and more suburban and insular. And there was on the way there was like 3 fucking house moms with Black Lives Matter signs walking in front of the Kroger's, and everybody honking horns. Like not just one like person being bold. Like I screamed Black Lives Matters at them, and then the whole intersection just started going crazy with horns.
Yesterday it was like a huge group of like moms and kids like by the school, like Broadway and High.
Yeah, Clinton.
I posted this on my Twitter today, but there was the most symbolic thing was there was this smaller white woman that was like probably early 20s, and she wrote her message on the back of a Franzia box.
I saw them
was
today.
holding it up.
I saw them today.
And I was like, "You're perfect. Don't change."
There was also a guy that was like had the best sign ever. It was just the top of an air fryer box, but those are made with a handle in them, so he could just palm it like this and hold it straight up above his head. It was built in, and he was just holding an air fryer box.
Man, by the end of this, there's gonna be just like white women out there with like fancy Etsy fonts and stuff, and like
they're gonna bring a cricket out there.
Yeah, and I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I love it.
My daughter made a Black Lives Matter sign for the front yard. We're flying the Black Lives Matter sign in the front yard, which, listen, I know I was a coward about getting a pool, but I am not going to let my landlord bully me into taking this down.
Sure. Yeah, we'll burn it down. We'll burn that place down.
Make sure you listen to Pod Damn America, because you obviously, that's Jake's podcast, and he's going to explain the jail time. How was jail? Can we ask you that?
Yeah, man. I mean, jail was interesting. I've grown a bit as a aging punk or whatever. Like, used to be something, mouth off in jail, and then I turned into somebody who foolishly thought I could reason with cops. Also not a thing.
Yeah.
And, after being, I got fucking tackled. The reason I have a phone is because I hold my phone, and fucking 10 cops jumped on me and shit, and tased me and then pulled me back in the precinct or whatever. And, after that, I mean, first, honestly, I thought, shall I go to the Tombs? And that's like a Corona sentence for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I also thought that I might have warrants out that I hadn't checked on.
Yeah,
and that I would be in for a long time. And as soon as I realized it wasn't happening, I was like, oh, I almost died. Okay, well, now I don't really give a shit about anything. I just kind of was chilling in, like, the paddy wagon. And there was a black dude next to me who was pretty smart, who was kind of, holding court and talking to the cops. And I kind of just deferred to him and let him kind of lead everything or whatever. But, like, honestly, talking to those cops is so funny because, like, I used to, I like making the cops, I think they're stupid, but I also, more so now, just think that they are in, like, a cult. It's like talking to, like, improv students or Scientologists or something. Like, there's all these levels and shit, and they're like, you don't understand. I gotta get to the next level. I'm like, I'm sure you do, buddy. Like, great. We're just living in two different universes, And so, I don't know. It really was interesting because, like, they were talking about how, like, they didn't understand why we were protesting the NYPD. Like, the NYPD didn't do the Minneapolis thing, and, like, people were like, well, you kill people all the time, but beyond that, this isn't about individual events. This is about the entire fucking thing, and no one seems to really be able to get their head around this thing is you shouldn't have this, like, this job shouldn't exist. It's not about you personally, dude. It's like you should just be doing something else, and we'd all be fucking better off. Yeah. And they kept trying to do this shit where they were like, hey, pal, we don't want to be here either. It's like, well, you know that fucking choice,
Yeah, quit. Yeah. Stop doing it.
So much
You're
money.
Not in handcuffs.
It's money.
It's just so much money, It's like when you're holding on to that paycheck and you already have fairly loose morals.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, I mean, I was thinking about that yesterday, that, like, there is a possibility that the Columbus police are like, why are you doing this? We didn't kill the guy. And it's like, you've killed a fucking ton of guys,
And children.
Yeah. They and like our police department, I mean, Columbus just isn't a place that riots. You were just, or I hate saying riot, but it's not a place that does gatherings or anything like this. You were just here. It's the most milquetoast city that's ever existed, and the fact that it blew up the way that it did was like, it was kind of a shock to me.
Well, that's what I said to Brian, was like, he was like, I can't believe it's happening here, and I'm like, but in order for it to happen, it has to happen everywhere, and that includes here.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last night. I was like, because it's happening everywhere. Like, I wonder how far down that goes in the scale. Like, the really small towns, if there's just like one guy, and one cop, and they're just like, like yelling at each other. And
yeah, I saw 6 people in Flower Mound, Texas, standing on the side of the interstate with a bunch of fucking signs.
Somebody just posted that they're small, like they live in a village and they have a curfew tonight, just to head off any problems that might have happened. Like, people.
There was one in Fairfax/Melrose, Ohio.
People that are in the suburbs are scared of everything.
Oh yeah,
they're like, they live there because they're afraid of everything.
Right. Well, also Columbus. I mean, I think we have one. We are among the worst when it comes to police offenses, and we have a higher rate of people killed by the police being black than most other places. It's a serious problem here. I mean, we had a undercover officer that was raping sex workers and killed one after she pulled a knife on him. So, I mean, this place is just absolutely.
I mean, Zach Rosen still works. He still
works.
patrols the streets, and he's killed. He killed Henry Green. I think it was Henry Green. It might be somebody. It might be a different person. He killed Henry Green. He was in plain clothes. He jumped out of a car. He chased him and shot him in the back. And he also then was caught on camera after he got back out kicking a handcuffed guy in the back of the head. Same fucking guy. And he's out on the street. He's probably downtown right now having the time of his life, kicking the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can really see the guys that are out there that are like, they've been like waiting for this. It's weird. Some of them look scared, but some of them are like into it, you know?
Did you see the video of this fucking dweeby ass cop? He was like maybe 5'5", and he was like, came character.
Rocking.
Like,
he was rocking back and forth and like licking his lips and just like
a little.
Yeah, he looked like he was in a fight game. It was basically like it was like his rest bobble back and forth before he gets in a fight.
I think my favorite thing is when they thought that Atlanta brought out a child militia, and it turned out it was just a teeny tiny little boy cop. It went viral yesterday, and I was like, I don't think they have a child militia. And then fucking, it was just a cop. He was like, I'm a cop, man. I'm of age.
Yeah. Another video.
I'm a man.
I'm a man. I'm not a teeny tiny little boy that poops and pees in his pants.
He was just a short clip, but it was a woman like just grilling a tiny cop. She's like, you baby ass bitch.
Every cop either is like a tiny boy who's just in like a mountain of gear, like basically inside of a Gundam, or they're so fat they're like spilling out of their clothes like the Blueberry Girl and Willy Wonka. There's no medium cops.
I like when the vest only covers their chest to like where it just gets past their chest, and then they're walking around. It's like, dude, you got a like real weak spot there that anybody can get to. I'm just letting you know. You know. Well, Jake, thanks for calling in, man. It's so good to hear from you. We miss you, and wish we could have done that tour, but we will be back together.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you guys, man. Someday on the other end, we'll do it.
For sure. Thanks for calling in, Jake. I appreciate you going through all that to get on the air.
Yeah, for sure.
Peace, dude. All right.
Good night.
Still 20 minutes till break.
Yep.
So
Keep
more calls.
Rolling with the calls.
Next call.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight? I had something to say.
Hey, what's up, Street Fight? This is Jonathan in LA.
What's up, Jonathan? Well, I know how things are going, but what's up in LA?
Nothing.
Well, there's a lot going on.
I really like Jake's show.
I have to say, if we had Melrose Avenue, I would have been shopping at 1 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
God, I would have been.
Hey, we almost made it into Beverly Hills last night.
I know. That's what's the thing. I was looking at it. I was like, "Is this fair? Are they at Fairfax yet? And can I request some things? I have a few shirts I would like to own. I need those Supreme cargo
I was
pants.
in Fairfax on the street.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I was in Fairfax on the street.
Yeah. So, what were you up to this weekend?
Well, so I've been watching all this stuff on my various feeds and on the news and everything, and it's just very important to show up and be counted as someone, who is against racist policing and who believes that Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
Which is what this is all about, right?
Yeah, and
so I knew I would regret it if I didn't go out, and even if I don't do anything that's confrontational, just go out and be counted. But there were other things that happened.
You gotta be confrontational.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out because you answered it. Mauer Roden in the chat says, I send you a hello from Uruguay and try to be not more racist, you North Americans. So I think you did that. I think you answered the call from Uruguay.
I've heard good things about your friend.
Okay, so first of all, I really like Jake's show and like his feed. I couldn't hear his audio, but I'll go back and watch it in the replay. No big deal.
The phone people didn't hear it.
Yeah, I'll just catch it on the replay. But yeah, I was down there, and I live just a few towns out, so I caught a bus in. And so I was riding the bus into Fairfax, and then the bus comes to a stop, and I look up, and there's a sea of people out front of the windshield of the bus.
Mm-hmm.
And so the bus driver just opens the doors because, you know, you're here. It's right here. It's going on right here. And by the way, shout out to city bus drivers, by the way.
Big they kicked ass. So good. It's just such a good roadblock to be like, no, we're not doing that.
Are you crazy?
Yeah, I'm not a prisoner transporter. I pick people up and take them to work for $1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Downtown LA is occupied by the National Guard right now, and these people are working under these incredibly stressful conditions.
Yeah, I mean, that was in Columbus. They did shut down the street, but they would park for the buses. And then the buses would drive through and honk and raise their fists as they drove through. It was fucking amazing.
So cool. I know.
Yeah.
I know. As long as you're not being afraid of the bus, you're going to be fine after this is over. Like, I feel like this thing, it's like, if you're okay with broke people, you're going to be fine after this. Like, if they make you uncomfortable, if you're a NIMBY or whatever, it's going to be changes, I think, because things might be a little tough coming up. But, you'll get used to it. We'll make you.
Yeah, so anyway, I jumped right off the bus, and I'm right in the middle of it. I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of going around, reading people's signs and kind of trying to figure out where I am. I don't get out there a lot, so I don't know exactly where I am, etc. And a bunch of people started pushing me and shoving me and saying, move, 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 go, go, go. They had set a cop car on fire a couple of meters behind me.
Whoa.
And so I was all of a sudden caught in the mosh pit.
Yeah, well,
people that were looking to get away from a flaming vehicle, and kind of while I know cars don't really explode like they do in the movies, it's kind of like nobody wants to be near it.
Yeah, like a pop punk mosh pit, or like what kind of mosh pit? Like a Rage Against the Machine mosh pit?
Something like that. And see, this is the thing. Like you were saying earlier, that there are a bunch of metal people that show up at these things. They're good to have around.
Yeah.
Because who is better to be next to in a mosh pit than a metal person?
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, moshing is great practice because you know how to stay on your feet. And you know how to just go noodle a little bit and kind of loosen up your joints and just kind of get pummeled around with the motion of the crowd.
Yeah, you know how to shield the people that are smaller than you.
Yeah.
And then if somebody goes down, you got to jump in instantly.
Yeah. Stick your butt out, bend over, and push everyone behind you backwards as far as possible.
Yeah. So I came up moshing in Hera Arena.
Hera?
Hera, yeah.
Brian Burke.
Dayton.
I'm from Dayton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ohio's going hard in it tonight.
Last times ago. Yeah, so anyway, we get a little distance between ourselves and this flaming cop car, and there are kind of little secondary explosions going on inside of it. And I realized I was standing next to a couple of cops. And you know what they were doing?
No idea. What were they doing? J-O-N? I'm sorry.
They were doing fucking nothing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they weren't doing anything?
So they were just chilling.
They weren't doing anything. I don't think I ever heard them say, "No, stop! That's a cop car."
Well, I mean,
everyone get away from that flaming cop car.
Maybe they were on break.
When I was working for the cable company and I got robbed, I did not care what they stole from me.
Yeah,
just like fucking take it. I don't care. It's not mine.
Yeah, but then the fire truck showed up. It was only a couple of minutes and put it out.
Yeah.
They didn't seem to be stressed about it at all. It's very strange. It's actually very strange. Like, the cop car was just, sacrificial to them. They didn't give a shit about it.
Yeah, I don't think they care about anything. I think they do what they're told to do.
They got $1 billion. Yeah.
For the amount of money that they make, it's worth it to them, and they just do what they're told to do. I don't think they care about George Floyd. I think the cop that killed him did. Because they knew each other previously. I think he set out that day to kill that guy.
All I'm saying is the most incriminating shit ever was that hand in the pocket. Because, I sit on top of my 7-year-old daughter all the time, and I brace myself with my hands. right?
Yeah.
Like I put the amount of pressure necessary to squash her, to make her giggle. He had his hands in his pockets, so he wasn't like securing him against the ground and like bracing any of his weight. He was just torturing that motherfucker.
Yeah.
He was torturing him. Chauvin, whatever
Yeah.
that fucker's name is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've done a lot of boxing and wrestling. I know how to hurt people, and he was not doing a kind of
like a
arrest
move.
that was
He wasn't
mirthful,
doing
yeah.
like a MMA move or anything like that. He was just torturing a guy and killing
It's a
him.
COP move. Like that's the moves they learn in their jujitsu. It's COP jujitsu.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Because there was a video of another. There was a cop putting the neck on their knee on the neck of somebody they were arresting in L.A. and another cop had to come up and kind of shoo his fucking knee off the neck because he was like,
Yeah, we don't want video.
Looks a little bad right now.
Yeah, this is not the time.
So he grabbed his knee and he put it to like the dude's shoulder blades, which is the way they're trained to do it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of important shit in the neck,
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And like we said, they're going to go for the highest percentage of damage.
Yeah.
Like it's non-lethal to them, but they're also trying to risk your life.
Mm-hmm.
Like see if you can take
Yeah,
a wooden
but-
bullet in the fucking head.
Yeah, but anyway, I just wanted to mention it. The cops they lost 3 cruisers out there, and they didn't seem to care. They're playing some very strange games, and I don't understand why.
Dude, no, I mean because no one wants to. You would
Because
get
in the end, it's
fucking
going to
beat.
come down to them just hitting people with sticks anyway. But we all know kind of how this is going to end. They're going to attack people eventually. Why all of the game?
When those cars start burning, people get so fired up. I mean, there's no way that I would ever take on somebody that's around a burning car because people just get fucking. I mean, people get so fired up. The first time I was around a burning car and watched the people around it just like screaming at the fucking sun, like they were the gods of everything. They felt like they were in. Fire just makes you insane.
Yeah,
The right kind.
You don't want to be too near to that shit. There are chlorinated compounds coming off in that smoke. I know he's kind of got a mask on, but it's probably not enough.
Oh, definitely.
So
not.
don't inhale the smoke from burning cop cars. I can still kind of smell it in my nose.
Yeah. Ugh.
Not a good idea.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Like it's not a tale that involves any valor on my part. I was just there.
I'm the same way. Being there is showing up, and that's
right now.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. L.A. is Columbus scary, which is scary. Not Minneapolis is the place that I'm like very, very worried about people
shooting people on their porches.
Yeah. I'm really worried about Minneapolis.
Yeah,
But,
that was
We're on a curfew. All of LA County is on a 6 p.m. curfew. I can't go outside anymore tonight.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Whoa. They're giving us till
in
10.
LA
I don't
County, you're
know.
not allowed to be out right now. Like I said, the National Guard is occupied downtown. They got like all of the city buildings covered.
Jesus Christ.
God damn.
It's real out here now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, everybody do your research and get ready for the long haul. This is the time to double down. It's like in blackjack. We got an 11 right now, everybody.
Yeah, I would like to say I'm going to go so other people can have the phone line. But, if you have the chance to go and kind of witness this thing for yourself, it's actually very important because you are going to know what you saw and what happened, and then you don't have to pay attention to what the fucking newspapers and cable channels say.
Yeah.
I'd smooch your face right now for sending that message out there.
Yeah.
Really, well, have a good night. We appreciate the input and absolutely agree. I mean, there's a level of danger that you can get into. It's all about what proximity you want, but just seeing it firsthand and feeling I don't know, like talking about how the fire brings out these elements. Just when you hear a whole crowd of people gasp all together, just have that same exasperation. It's so taxing. When I got home, I was just like, what happened? Was that really real? All that stuff I just fucking saw.
No, definitely. It was the most tired I've ever been in my life when I got home.
I know.
You got to work on
My
that
soul
cardio.
was tired.
It's not even for me. It's like I walk. I'm like, these two people were talking about their steps, and I wanted to be like, oh, you want to have a little talk about steps? Let's talk. Where are you at? Like, what's your numbers? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was talking to our buddy Greg today, and he was like, yeah, I'm sure it's like pretty tough to do all the walking. And I was like, it's not even the walking. I am not like anywhere near numbers that would make me tired from walking. It was the tear gas and the running and the clashes and like all of that stuff.
Just
you know,
like, I mean, I spend a very little of my time watching what's going on and just see what's going on around. Like we spotted a fucking battalion of cop troops that were about to go pin everybody in where we were at, and I told everyone around us, and I don't know how many people followed the warning, but like you're on such another level. I said yesterday it felt like when I did Planned Parenthood for the first time. It was like you're out there and you feel relatively normal and you think things are okay, and then you get home and you're like, I don't feel like,
How can I go be normal again?
Yeah.
That's how I felt in the car this morning for work. I was like, okay, I have to go talk to people. Like, everything's all great. Yeah.
And you're drained. You're drained in a way like all of your bars are tapped, the physical and the emotional. You've seen some of the most heart-wrenching shit you've ever seen in your life, and you've also spent 3 to 4 hours living off of fucking granola bars and free water and doing basically wind sprints, running 100 feet away from a bunch of tear gas and then slowly coming back and then doing another 100-foot dash.
It's so many emotions too. It's happiness. It's It's sorrow. It's anger. It's fear because you're like, are these people in these cars about to fucking run through this crowd right now?
I know.
A car came up on us when we were in a chain of like white people, and we were blocking one side of the block we had, and a car like came up on us because he needed to get through, and I got so fucking pissed off because Gwen was right next to me that I started slamming on the hood and yelling at him, calling him a motherfucker, and then that's when Brian like swooped in and was like, let's go this way.
Well, I'm just like, you guys don't.
And I was like, who am I? What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I don't want you guys to get hit by a car.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, you can get carried away in this stuff.
It is.
So many times that I've said stuff like walking by these cops that are just like, I remember in DC when I was like, how does it feel to be on the bad guy side to a bunch of the...
You were doing it from earlier.
Yeah, National Guards. And I did ask. But I asked in a very sarcastic way.
Oh, you did it dripping with sarcasm.
I
it was
being
venomous.
Sarcastic. But now it's like when they drive by, it's just middle fingers up. You just flipping off the cops and the National Guards people it's an amazing feeling because you can't do that any other day, any other time. We're in a world now where we can actually do that.
Yes.
Because everyone in the crowd's doing it. Who are they going to pick out?
Yeah.
One more?
One more than break.
One more than break. We're making it through this queue. It's working out. I think we're going to get it done. Thank you for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, it's Danny in Brooklyn. How are you?
Who?
Danny.
Danny in Brooklyn, New York.
How are you doing?
Man, it is crazy out here. I'm the bike delivery person who's been out and about the entire time, and I have run into 3 protests without even knowing that I was going into them.
I had the same thing happen a few times too.
You're just you're riding around your bike around town, or are you working?
I'm working. Like it's like basically I work, or I try to work from like 5 p.m. to about 10 p.m. Each day, and in Manhattan, Clinton Hill, which is a part of Brooklyn, and Williamsburg. Today, without even trying, I ran into like 3 major Black Lives Matter protests, which are great. I'm so glad everything is happening. But like, I'm not even actively trying. I'm super busy doing all these deliveries still, and like, it was crazy. Like the one at Union Square in Manhattan was like, whoever said it was like a mosh pit before, like that is absolutely what it was. Because I'm just like riding to sort of like go back to Brooklyn to my house, and I see a bunch of NYPD cars in the bike lane, which is like, that happens all the time anyway, but there's like a lot of them this time. And I'm like, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, that's like, there's a protest happening right now. And it's right at this spot where like a lot of other bike messengers will just sort of like hang and chill out. And it's just a million phones all pointed at the NYPD. And it's just like this rocking back and forth of the crowd and like the officers. And it's the water bottle thing is like so distinctive because it's like, it looked like an Against Me show from like 2006. Like it was just like you see like a water, you see like a fucking like Polish Springs water bottle just fly into the air every once in a while, and then all of a sudden like 5 cops would come out with like somebody just with the plastic ring cuffs on them, zip tie cuffs, and then they go down, and then like more seconds, another person, and just like a lot of just like fuck you. Like it was just like the most unfriendly mosh that you've ever seen.
Yeah, I was saying like, so there was a moment when they were chucking water bottles at the cops where I had one in my pocket and I just came so close to unleashing it and I just grabbed it like as hard as I could. Because the like those fucking things are so janky. They're so crinkly. It's the thinnest plastic you can imagine. It's like almost a water balloon. So I just grabbed it like as hard as I could, and it was just like my stress ball. And I'm like, I'm not gonna start shit that other people have to deal with. I'm not gonna start shit that other people have to deal with. But to everybody else that threw one, I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, that was just the one that happened in Union Square. Like, I was the next day on Saturday, which is when shit really went down here. I was riding up Bedford Avenue, which is an incredibly prominent street in Brooklyn. And, you know, all of a sudden, I hear, like, fucking cop car behind me, you know, and the cars in New York have a weird bassy sort of, like, tone to them. So they do the, like, woo! But in addition to that, they also have, like, a boop, boop. So you hear like this like big bassy kind of noise come from behind you, and I'm like, gotta get out of the way because they will hit me otherwise. They come flying down the bike lane, like literally 6 inches from me, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know, like I almost got hit like 3 times by them, and I'm just like, I have like some like fucking Van Leeuwen ice cream in my bag, you know, that I'm delivering to somebody for like, you know, $13 and shit like that. And I turned left onto DeKalb, which is another huge street in Brooklyn, and it's just like flashing, like everywhere. And I'm like, oh, all right. And I have to kind of get off and get out of the way, going up, like just trying to. You know, I'm just in a situation where I'm like, I just can't get caught up in this right now. I'm like, I'm like actively delivering food, you know. Like, is there another cop with like an AR-15 that's going right by? It's like, somebody told me shots fired, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And then just today, I was picking up sushi in Williamsburg, and it's so funny because I rode by the Apple store, and they had plywood boarded it up, and I was like, I wonder why they did that over here. And then all of a sudden I hear the protest. I'm like, again? Like, man, I just keep running into this. Yeah. And it's like, it's so fun. And again, it's just like, I wish I could have gone to it. But it's just like, I've just been delivering. I've had to deliver. And I have to say, I did like 16, 17 deliveries just tonight because it turns out people are afraid to go outside when they think there is a riot happening outside. And I made like $150 like minimum. So it's been like in 4 hours of work.
You should do some propagandizing. So, I would throw some sort of a pamphlet in there as like, you have nothing to fear if in the streets as long as you're with the people.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been wild, and it's
New York has a high concentration of rich people, which are the ones that should be the most afraid right now. So I can understand that being the situation.
Well, it was also really strange too, because I don't know if some of the police precincts are getting the hint, but like you know, on Friday and Saturday, it was like obviously super intense, super violent. But when they were walking down Williamsburg, I saw very little police presence. And the cops that I did were just sort of like walking alongside them. And I mean, Williamsburg has become, you know, it's basically the face of gentrification in New York City. So I don't know if they were just sort of like, we can't have as big of a ruckus going down here or whatever. But it was definitely a little bit more controlled. But yeah, de Blasio, he's been a complete shithead about everything as well. Which has been so funny because he's just like, the cops hate him. So he's just like, you know, he's just like this he's just a feckless, weird leader figure. And it's like, oh, why would he just sucks. It's like you expect it from Cuomo because Cuomo just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
He's just a stupid shithead, you know. Like he named a bridge upstate after his dumb dad because he's just like that obviously corrupt about it. But it's like Blasio's just like this asshole. Like, well, no, we're doing things right, and it's like I don't know.
I don't think you are. I think you're totally failing. The Cleveland police chief said, if you think if you think you can do better, why don't you come here? And I'm like, I should go.
Like a lot of us would take that job.
I can do it great. Stand down. I'm hearing that there might be white supremacists with assault rifles surrounding the Garden downtown, which is a drop-off spot and pick up for supplies and stuff. So I'm trying to verify it. I can't. If you're out there, let us know. But I can't verify it. I just heard from Kristen, who's a buddy. You know what I mean? I trust her.
So names.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
All
right.
I can't imagine what's going on in Manhattan right now. I mean, the new NYPD.
That's true. We shouldn't.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, the one thing to remember about the NYPD is that, like, there's weird, terrible divisive force, and, like, they're obviously really violent and terrible and weird. The other thing that is actually reminiscent of what the guy was saying about the LAPD is that, like, they are oddly lazy. Like, it's that you have the ultra-violent shitheads, and then you have, like, this other version of cop that's just, like, just unwilling to do, like, any of the decent aspects of their job in any meaningful way. Like, I was riding home today, saw 4 of them just, you know, like, hanging around in, like, a weird, like dusty corner. Like, what the fuck are you idiots even doing here? Like, it's just, like, you're not even, like, you're not helping. You're just literally filling a hole in this, like, weird, you know, system for no reason. They're very confusing. And when you visit New York and hang out here for a while, you do see how strange and they can be. You know?
Yeah. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate it. I'm glad to get some on-the-ground reporting. And please call back.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Peace.
Later.
All right. You know, the chat is talking about it, but did you happen to see there was a protest in, like, London and Germany and all over the world? Yeah. There are a lot of people now are recognizing it. I mean, this is just such a monumental moment in time, and we get to be on the right side of history. We get to be the ones that called it the entire time, and it's not a reason to brag. It's just a reason to, like, feel relief, you know, like that we were right. Like, everybody's been shitting on us and spitting on us and telling us that, like, this stuff wasn't possible. They took away Bernie Sanders, and then everybody was like, well, we're going to show you what's possible.
Yeah,
so,
well, I want to say that something that's been really heartening is seeing people treat this march seriously for what it's for and not being like, we need to recruit these people for socialism and shit like that, because that kind of stuff is ugly. We're just not doing that right now. This is like the other part.
Yeah, we're going to show up every day and we're going to figure out how to do this thing in a different way.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. All right, we're hitting break.
It's break time. You know what I was going to say also? Alex Schaefer, Paint with Alex on Instagram. He's been painting since Occupy pictures of burning Chase buildings. And so I would love to get his perspective. I would love to see, like, how his art came to reality. Like, it's incredible. I've just followed along. It's somebody that's I followed along since the beginning. They're like, hey, there's this weird artist. He goes to these banks, he posts up outside, and he paints a picture of them on fire. And it was this quirky story that like he brought into existence.
Yeah,
he helped to push us along in the right direction.
I will say that we've been doing this for 9 years, and I would say 9-10 years ago is when like I kind of started to have these left tendencies, that like just discovered who I was as a person, and like the amount of progress that has happened in the time that I have been around is like it's
That's right on.
a lot.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I think this has put a lot of I am too much of a baby, and I have no patience for delayed gratification. But the wick was long, and was always leading to this.
Yeah.
And also, man, I wish I was accelerationist. I wish I would have been Trump back in 2016, man.
Jesus
This is what we needed.
Well,
Hillary Clinton would have fucking taken all of this shit out.
She would have been able to get away with a lot more than they're gonna let Trump get away with, even though he's the most powerful guy in the world, so it doesn't matter what they let him get away with. He's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants. So
yeah,
I think it's just a matter of hoping that he is not as psychotic as we think he is.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, he's too stupid to be Hitler, so I don't think that's gonna happen. But we'll see what we have to do to get him out. It's going to take a lot.
Let's get a break in.
We have a break coming to you. This is music from Loud Hearts. You can find them at loudhearts.bandcamp.com. This is from the album A Ways Away. You're listening to Street Fight Radio. We'll be back.